When was the last time something you absolutely knew to be true just wasn't? Today we're diving into a real classic case of that, a story fueled by intellectual curiosity. We're looking at the ultimate paleontological comeback kid.
Ah, yes. Brontosaurus, the thunder lizard.
Exactly. For, what, over 100 years you couldn't really say Brontosaurus in serious circles, right?
You definitely get corrected.
Yeah.
It was basically erased, considered just another name for Apatosaurus. So our mission today for you is to really unpack that whole century-long saga.
We want to look at the evidence, the back and forth, and what finally brought it back into the scientific fold.
It's quite a story. We're talking, of course, about this massive herbivore, late Jurassic period, maybe 156 to 146 million years ago, roaming around what's now Utah, Wyoming.
The Morrison formation. Yeah, this whole deep dive really challenges that idea of settled science.
It really does. So the name itself, Brontosaurus excelsus, noble thunder lizard, that came from Othniel Charles Marsh back in 1879, right in the middle of the Bone Wars.
Those intense rivalries, yeah. But the trouble started pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. Barely 2 decades later, 1903. Elmer Riggs, another paleontologist, he looked at the bones and argued, well, Brontosaurus just isn't different enough from Apatosaurus, which Marsh had also named, but earlier.
So that's the priority rule kicking in.
Yeah.
Apatosaurus was named first, so.
So Apatosaurus stuck, and Brontosaurus became what's called a junior synonym. Officially, scientifically, poof, gone for over a century.
But it wasn't just the name, was it? There was that whole mix-up about its head.
Oh, the skull confusion. That's almost a separate saga. For decades, the museum skeletons everyone saw, like that famous one at the American Museum of Natural History from 1905.
The really iconic one.
That one had this big, chunky, almost boxy head. But that wasn't based on a Brontosaurus skull at all.
It was guesswork. Or borrowed.
Borrowed, mostly. Sometimes they used skull bits from Cambrisaurus, which did have a thick skull. Total mismatch.
So what did the real head look like, assuming it was like Apatosaurus?
Much different. Small, kind of squared off at the snout, almost delicate, way more like its relative, Diplodocus, not blocky at all.
Okay, so name gone, wrong head for decades. How to make its comeback?
Fast forward to 2015,
Yeah.
a huge study by Chap and his team. They did this incredibly detailed statistical analysis looking at something like 477 different skeletal features across loads of related dinosaurs.
Wow, that's thorough.
Extremely. And their conclusion was actually the differences between the fossils originally called Brontosaurus and those called Apatosaurus were significant enough, particularly in the neck and torso.
So Brontosaurus was back. Valid genus.
Back on the books, though it's fair to say not every single paleontologist agrees even now, but it's widely accepted.
Okay, so what is the key difference then? What makes it stand out anatomically? It was huge, right? Up to 75 feet, 20 tons maybe?
Massive, yes. But the real clincher, the thing that 2015 study highlighted, is the neck. The neck vertebrae are described as extremely robust and heavily built. Well, look at the bones themselves. Things like the hypotheses, the cervical ribs, these bony bits sticking out. They're seriously chunky, suggesting huge, powerful neck muscles, very different from the lighter neck of, say, Diplodocus.
Right, so super strong neck. Why? Just for holding it up, or is there more to it? I've heard about this hashtag Brontosmash idea.
Yes, the neck combat hypothesis. It's controversial, definitely. But the thinking is, why invest so much biologically into building such a massively reinforced neck on a 20-ton animal?
Unless you were using it for something demanding.
Exactly, like maybe intraspecific combat. Males, perhaps, wrestling or slamming necks for dominance, a bit like modern giraffes do, but much bigger.
That is a wild image.
Yeah.
A 20-ton thunder lizard neck wrestling match.
It implies that social interactions, maybe competition or display, were a huge evolutionary pressure. And then there's the tail, too.
The whip tail. Yeah, I read about that. Super long, tapering, and the sonic boom idea.
That's another fascinating hypothesis. Could it crack that tail tip faster than the speed of sound? Create a boom over 200 decibels like a cannon shot?
Incredible. For defense? Communication?
Maybe. Or maybe not. There are counter-arguments, like, would the tail just tear itself apart at those speeds? Some researchers think it might have been more mundane, perhaps a tactile thing, keeping track of others in a herd.
Especially since they grew so fast, right?
Yeah.
Like 10, 15 years to get near full size. They'd need ways to coordinate.
Rapid growth, yeah, reaching that huge size quickly.
It's amazing, though, how even when science said no Brontosaurus, the public never really let it go.
Absolutely. The name had incredible cultural inertia. Sinclair Oil's logo, Gertie the dinosaur back in 1914, it just stuck.
And that post office stamp incident in '89?
Perfect example. The U.S. Postal Service put Brontosaurus on a stamp, got called out because it was wrong, and basically said, well, people know Brontosaurus.
Yeah. Public familiarity trumped scientific classification at the time.
It really shows the power of a name and an image.
This deep dive was brought to you by embersilk.com. Embersilk is the answer for all your AI education and integration needs.
You know, thinking about it, that incredibly robust neck, that huge biological investment, it suggests that high-stakes conflict or display was shaping this animal long, long before we humans ever argued about what its proper name should be.
Its body knew its purpose before we knew its label. A provocative thought indeed. What detail from this comeback story surprised you the most? Let us know. And if you enjoyed exploring this bit of overturned science with us, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review.
It really does help us bring you more deep dives like this one.
Thanks for tuning in and keeping that intellectual curiosity sharp.